good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. Today, we're going to be talking about Spider-Man, dude. I love this series. I have always loved Spider-Man. I don't know what it is. I think just when it comes to, I don't know what it stems from. I think it's just the story, the character, everything about Spider-Man I just love. I think to this day, I didn't grow up with the old Spider-Man films. Like, I watched them, obviously. I think the ones I remember the most growing up, I think, was seeing the Amazing Spider-Man in theaters, both of them twice, which was cool. Seeing those in theaters was such a nice experience. Sucks they never made a third one, which I actually really wanted, but I think, in my professional opinion, I think Tom Holland is like the ultimate Spider-Man, if you will. He's like the perfect representation of like Peter Parker and the perfect representation of Spider-Man. Whereas you look at like Andrew Garfield, he's the perfect Spider-Man, not the perfect Peter Parker. You look at Tobey Maguire, he's the perfect Peter Parker, not the perfect Spider-Man. So it's like Tom Holland kind of fuses them both together. And like I've always thought that. I think everyone would probably agree with me on that point. Not to say like any actor is better than another. I think they're all equally great. But yeah, I've always loved Spider-Man. Like, even the games, dude. Like, not like, I would say I never played the original like PS2 Spider-Man games or anything promo related that they came out with. It just wasn't for me. But anytime Spider-Man's been depicted in like a video game sense or has been shown in movies, I've always gone to play it or I've gone to watch it. I've just loved Spider-Man ever since. But going into the topic we're going to go into today, I want to talk about what should be next for the Spider-Man films. So I've seen, personally, like if I were to do like a tier list of like my top 3 Spider-Mans right now, it would definitely be like, for movies, it would be No Way Home at number 1. Number 2 would be Across the Spider-Verse, and then 3 would be Into the Spider-Verse, just because like I love the animated films, and then like No Way Home is like the ultimate perfect movie for Spider-Man. I think it's like probably the best movie I've seen. Just overall, it was great. It was fantastic. Just all the funny thing about the movie was like, I'm not gonna spoil anything here because it's not worth spoiling. Because there's probably people that haven't seen the movies. There's people that live under rocks, but the fact that all of the leaks or anything that's been like because I was paying attention to like leaks online of like what was getting like leaked, or like people were seeing this in footages for in images, and people were seeing this and people were seeing that. All of the what made me like, I think I jumped out of my seat twice during the movie, but it was just funny to see like all the leaks that were spreading around were true. That was hilarious. That all of the leaks that had been going out, like I think like for one that's really early in the movie, Daredevil being in Spider-Man, I was like, there is no way that is true, and it was. That's the only one I'm gonna spoil, because like, dude, it was just so funny. It was hilarious. I was just like, there's no way this is happening right now. The fact that leaks were actually true. It's a rare thing when leaks are real. So that was a whole like thing. In terms of games, I would say like, because I've only played, I think my number 1 is gonna be Miles Morales. That is at the top, and then obviously Spider-Man being the second one. And there's no, because I think Spider-Man 2 is gonna determine like where top 3 would be, because I haven't played any of the other Spider-Man games, so it's kind of like up in the air. But the main thing we're going to be talking about today is where does Spider-Man go next in terms of films. I'm not talking like movies. I know there's, after Across the Spider-Verse, there is going to be another animated film, which I am very excited for. They teased that at the end of the very end of the movie, which I think was called, wasn't Across, it was like it was something else. I forgot what they called it. Let me look real quick. I'll be super quick, I promise. movie title. What was it called? Beyond the Spider-Verse. That's what they called the next one. Beyond the Spider-Verse, dude. Isn't that crazy? Beyond the Spider-Verse. That I hope that movie like wraps everything up and that's how they finish it. I think that'll be a really cool movie. Like Across Spider-Verse was a great film. It was so good. It was incredible. I'm wondering, I don't think it's gonna be better than No Way Home. Beyond, I don't think it's gonna be better than No Way Home, but we'll see what happens. I think I'm gonna have to make like a top 5 list or something, I think, at that point. But yeah, so in terms of the live action movies, I have this great opinion I think all of you are going to agree with on where the movie should go next. Now, Tom Holland being a great actor and all, he's been asked like multiple times, like, are you going to continue your role as Spider-Man? He's like, oh, I'd be a fool not to accept the offer to come back. Like, here's what I think is going to happen for the next movie or whatever they go into, because it's going to be years before we see something new. It will literally be years. I don't think we're going to see anything for a hot minute. Don't expect anything until like 2025 for like even an announcement, because I think it's just going to take a lot of, like, this is like the break period. Like, everyone wants a break. It's going to be wild for when we get that new film. But I'm under the impression that Miles Morales is going to take center stage in the live action series of Spider-Man. Now, hold on one second. I want to look up this real quick, so I know for a fact. Okay, so what I want to talk about here is the next live action film. I think Miles Morales is going to take center stage. Now, here's what's going to happen. I think they're going to bring Tom Holland in for this film because, I mean, for spoiler purposes, spoiler warning here, obviously Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire came back in No Way Home. So I think them coming back is a sign that, okay, the next Spider-Man film, Tom Holland will be back. Now, if you've played the Spider-Man games, I'm pretty much going to explain why I think Tom Holland is going to be in the next movie, as well as Miles Morales, so you can hear me out. So, very end of No Way Home, Spider-Man has a new suit. Tom Holland has a new suit for Spider-Man. It's like it's a super cool, like, glossy suit, I think is how I remember it being. But the suit itself, it's just super cool, and I'm like, they show that off at the end, and I'm just like, so he's going to continue being Spider-Man, and I think that's going to be the case no matter what happens. Now, his whole, like, obviously tail end of the movie, everyone's memory is wiped, so they have no idea who this guy is. So he's kind of a clean slate. He is off to college, which is part of him becoming an adult. So I think what well, I don't know if it's Sony doing it's Sony doing the movie, I think. What they're setting up for is the Spider-Man game type of story. You can say I'm wrong about that. I really do think they're setting up for a Spider-Man game type of story, because in the Spider-Man game, Peter is a fully grown adult. He has an apartment, he has a job and everything like that, and he's still Spider-Man. And Tom Holland is kind of going on this path with Spider-Man now. He's like going to college, and the adult Spider-Man in the game has gone to college. So I do think they're kind of going down that path of, hey, Spider-Man's growing up. He's going to be an adult. Here's what I think, though. I think they're going to probably, I don't know how they're going to do this. I think they're going to do it really early. So I think they're going to introduce Miles in the same universe as Tom Holland as Spider-Man. They're going to introduce both characters. That's what's going to happen. Because I think Tom Holland, or Spider-Man in general, Peter Parker, is going to be a mentor, like in the games, to Miles Morales. That is going to happen. Whether you believe me or not, I think that's my mind literally, like, I was thinking of like two possibilities when No Way Home ended, when I finished watching the film. In my head, I was like, So they're either going to continue with Tom Holland as Spider-Man for good, or if they don't, they're gonna introduce Miles Morales into the live action scene. Because let's face it, you can't keep doing the same formula over and over again. We need something different, right? And Gwen Stacy also hasn't been a character. She was a character in, well, Mary Jane was named a character in Amazing Spider-Man, but Gwen Stacy was a character in both Tobey Maguire's Spider-Verse, whatever you want to call it, his version of Spider-Man, and so was and she was also a main character in The Amazing Spider-Man. So as confusing as that sounds, I do think she's also going to be in these new Spider-Man films, because it feels a little weird not to do that. I don't even know, was Gwen Stacy, am I going to look this up? I don't think she was, or maybe she was. Hasn't appeared in Tom Holland's universe today. So that's kind of what I want to like touch on, is because she hasn't been in the series in Tom Holland's universe yet, which means that she could be, right? This is where my mind is going, is like, we're going to get a completely new universe now with Spider-Man, because Miles Morales is going to make a more prominent feature. I just think they're going to introduce Miles in the Spider-Man series with Tom Holland, with Peter being the mentor to Miles. I think that's the next route we're going. As confusing as this sounds, I think it's just the next step in Spider-Man. If they keep going down the route with Tom Holland being Spider-Man and no story elevation, they are making a huge mistake. But the thing is, like with Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, the success the animated movies are getting, there is a probably desire, or there's a demand for Miles to be shown in live action. Now, there are only two actors that come to mind that I can think of for Miles to be the perfect character. For someone to portray Miles in live action perfectly. First one that came to mind, Jaden Smith. The reason being is because of, he did a song called I'm Ready, which featured in the Miles Morales soundtrack for the game. By the way, that game is my all-time favorite for Spider-Man. I love that game. But the reason, it's not the reason he sung that song for the game. He just looks like he would play a good Miles Morales. I don't know if that's the case. I really don't. Another actor that got pointed out to me was Caleb McLaughlin, which is like, it's Lucas Sinclair from Stranger Things. I think he could also be a really good pick. Those are the only two that come to mind, though, when it comes to Miles Morales. Because, I mean, you have to find the perfect character for that role. Like, and even, like, I would even say, like, the Miles Morales from the game, you find that actor. But, like, you got to find someone who's, like, I think Caleb McLaughlin could be definitely a really good fit for comparing to, like, you got to find someone who matches with Tom, basically. You got to find, like, this guy can mentor this guy without a worry. I don't know, like, maybe Jaden Smith is probably a really poor pick, but I do think, like, when I saw the I'm Ready music video, I was looking at, like, this dude could be Miles Morales. He really could, because he's given those vibes. And I mean, it probably won't happen. I think Caleb McLaughlin probably would get the role, and I'd be completely okay with it because he's a great actor in Stranger Things. But yeah, I do think the series is going to kind of go towards that mentorship thing with and Peter, Tom Holland, whatever, is probably going to meet Miles in college or something, or they're going to meet later on in life, because I'm assuming Tom Holland will, I don't know if he's going to be an adult living in an apartment, but I guess we'll find out how the story is going to go. But I do think it's going to follow the route of the game that's been going on, and I think that's just the perfect shift into a new type of story for Spider-Man. And I think it's like, I just think Miles needs to be introduced into the live action series, because if it doesn't happen, it's gonna make me like Spider-Man less, because we've seen the formula done over and over again of Peter Parker and no Miles representation, which is kind of dumb. Which I don't know. I think it needs to happen, and Miles is like my favorite Spider-Man character. Like I've almost been getting tired of Peter Parker. I'm not gonna lie. I've been getting not fed up, but like I've just been getting tired of the storyline because I know it so well, and I think it's just like we need something new and fresh, and that's why I like Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, because it's new. It's a new story, and it's super cool. And the Spider-Verse is such an interesting thing, and continuing on that storyline is just super cool. But yeah, I do think that's where things are going to kind of go. We're going to get like, because MJ's already been introduced with Tom Holland's story. I think we're going to get Gwen Stacy, and then we're going to get the mentorship between Peter and Miles. I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be really neat. I hope that's where it goes. If that's not where Spider-Man goes in 2025, 2024, whenever they decide to announce a new film, I will be disappointed. I will be, because my mind doesn't go anywhere else other than Miles. I don't know. Like, I don't see it just being Tom. You know, I don't see it just being Peter Parker. I don't. I really, really don't. It would just be super odd for that to be where they go next. I don't think it's a smart choice if they do. If they go Miles, you've saved it, because like it's a big question though too. Like, where do you go from No Way Home? Like, that's probably a huge thing. But if the people making Spider-Man movies, if their mind doesn't just go Miles Morales, if their mind doesn't go there, what are they doing? What are they doing? Right? You know, it would be stupid not to go Miles Morales. How do you not go there? Like, it would be crazy to me if they didn't. So we'll see what happens in the future. That's kind of my thoughts, though. That's always where my mind's been. I'm just like, they gotta go Miles. They gotta. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. I want to know what you guys think about this, because I think I don't know if that's a popular opinion. That's my take. That's what I think is going to happen in the near future. Could be wrong, dude. Again, I like Tom as Spider-Man. I like him as Peter Parker too. It's just I need something different. So yeah, that's gonna be the video for today. Now it's gonna be the video for today. But thank you guys for watching. If you did, I appreciate it a ton. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.